Hello again, friends. I'm Anna Delman. It is day number 155 of my note writing endeavor. The note of instruction for myself for today and to encourage you is: everlasting is deeper and wider than I thought it would be or could be. What should my response be? Now, the context of the word everlasting is from Jeremiah 31:3, and I've written it out from the Holman Christian Standard Bible, and it reads as follows: I have loved you with an everlasting love, therefore I have continued to extend faithful love to you. So in the context of that, what should your response be to that when it finally sinks in what God is instructing us in this and saying to us? My response should be to stop. Just stop right there and then, here and now. Consider the significance of what that verse is actually saying to us. Dig deep, consider it. And then our response should be humility. Me, really, Lord? Me? Then you need to make a commitment to yourself. What's more important, that reality or the reality I'm struggling to overcome, and those real difficulties and struggles that I carry deep within my heart that need to be put off and put aside so that I can function better for my own good and for God's glory. Then, as I said, commit to self. I need to plan how I'm going to do that. I need to hold myself accountable, and if need be, find somebody who can hold me accountable. I need to change and grow. So friends, just let's take a look at this verse real quick. You can look it up in your translation. I looked it up in a few. I like the Jeremiah 31:3. It's very conversational. Usually I like the Amplified, but I thought this was just a whole lot easier. It seems like it's more of today's kind of way of reasoning through and saying something in conversation. So I want to point out the following things. I have and I have. Who is the I that is being referred to? It's God, right? Loved you with an everlasting love, therefore I have continued to extend faithful love to you. So in the context, and I did a deep dive into understanding the word, what is everlasting mean to you, friends, and to me? And as I run through all the Hebrew explanations of that word, you I hope, like me, will be gobsmacked. You'll be in awe of what God is actually saying to you, friends. So here goes. First of all, the love is blinded because he sees you as he would see his son. When you come to know God through Jesus Christ, he sees you through Jesus. So he's blinded to anything else other than that in your life, friends. Isn't that humbling? That thing you're struggling with, that thing you're working to overcome, he doesn't see that. He sees his son. Okay, so let's now continue and look at everlasting. It's eternal, continual, ongoing, friends. There's no end to it. Evermore, forevermore. It's lasting. It's a frequent love. It's a truthful love. He's truthfully loving you. Confidently loving you because he's God. He loves you with the confidence he has to say he does and the reasons he says he does. It's a victorious love. He's won the victory for you, friends. He's won it. He's gained it for you. For the duration. He's in it for the long haul with you in perpetuity. At any time, that love is held towards you from him. From the beginning of the world. Friends, do you know that he loved you from the beginning of the world, before all that ickiness, that muck in your life? It's not poor little you. He loved you because of that. He decided to love you way back then, even though he knew how your life would unfold, and this is what your life would be in those areas you struggle with. That should allow us to take a breath. Everlasting is deeper and wider than I thought it would be. What should our response be, right? We need to stop. Consider the significance. Humility, me, really, me, Lord? Commit to self, because in that you're making the commitment to God for the kind of love he has poured out to you. Plan a response. Hold yourself accountable. Now, friends, you may wonder, if I know all these things, why am I sharing my growth and my plan to change as I am in a 365-day daily note writing. I didn't think I would see the end of 2024. 2 years ago, August 2023, I asked my elder sister, who lives a 20-hour drive away, to come and take all my things, all my clothing, anything that she could use. I would never wear it again. I didn't think I would see the end of 24. All the clothes I'd collected for years. Now, I lived in Los Angeles for 26 years. I loved shopping. I loved going to the thrift stores. Everything I bought, it was like a wardrobe of my life. I liked the way I dressed. And then I got super sick. I hadn't worn those clothes in years. I couldn't. I'm the kind of person who needed to use the handicap parking. Not that I could drive. I couldn't. My legs were lymphatic. They were swollen. They were bulky. I could barely walk. I couldn't walk more than a few yards in the beginning of 2024. By the grace of God, I was able to have a surgery that turned my life around. Now, I don't need to go into the details of what the health issue was. That's not important, friends. What is important is that I didn't think, as I said, I would see the end of 2024. Here we are, at almost the end of 2025. I'm still not able to do what I used to do 5-10 years ago, go for long hikes, take 6, 7, 8 hour hikes for a day on a Saturday. I cannot do that. Can I do it in the future? I hope to. But what I'm saying is that, or trying to say rather, is that when I committed that I really needed the surgery recovery was going forward well planned, and I wanted to hold myself accountable to make sure that the rest of my life was going to function at a second chance of life and living, and that I wanted to document it and share it with others. I don't know who it's going to impact, if anybody at all, but you can deal with the very difficult things in your life because of the everlasting love that has been showered down on us. Now, you may think the thing that you're struggling with keeps rearing its ugly head and therefore you are defeated. Friends, if you're trying to work to overcome it, just the hope of that is showing that you have the gumption to do it. If you didn't have the gumption and the hope to overcome it, you wouldn't be bothering at all. So, whoops, I nearly dropped my little note. I have written some verses up here, which I'd like you to consider. Romans 6, verse 1 and 2. What shall we say to all this? Should we continue in sin and practice sin as a habit so that God's gift of grace may increase and overflow? Certainly not. How can we? The very ones who died to sin continue to live in it any longer. We need to not think, well, God's forgiven me, He loves me eternally, everlastingly anyway, so He's just going to overlook this. Sure He will, friends, but is that how you want to respond to the love that's been given to you as I've explained it? Is that your response? I'm not accusing you. You ought to have, as I said, stop. Consider the significance. Have the humility. Me, really me, do I deserve that kind of love? And that should propel you and be your reason for wanting to work at putting off the old habits and putting on the new. Now, friends, I know that sounds a whole lot more simplistic than it could actually be or should be. I am trying to encourage you that it is possible, no matter what that struggle is. You can do it. I know you can, because I can, and I am, and I will. I will because of what I've explained to you today. I need to stop and consider, and I need to walk forward and move on to the glory of God, because He bought my life with a price. It will cost you you. This costs you you, and it costs me. He's worth it. Until tomorrow, friends, day number 156, I will have another conversation with you, possibly continuation of this and broadening it out. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to share, please feel free to do so, and I will comment as soon as I can in response. Bye-bye for now.